All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to the Video Game Development Club at NC State. My name is Mitchell Dunning. I'm the president, and we'll get into more officer introductions in a little bit. But I just want to say thank you for coming. We're really excited to have all of you. These are great to see so many new faces at the beginning of the semester, and we got a lot planned for y'all. So stay tuned. I know I got some people on Twitch, so I'll try to stay as far back as I can from the computer here with like a little mouse clicker. So starting off, there we go. VGDC in a nutshell. So there's three main areas that we focus on as a club. Those are development, where we try to make sure we put your skills to the test through different projects that we help you develop. This is usually done through game jams and our semester or year-long projects. We call them wolf projects because haha, we are wolf pack. Then the next part is education. A lot of people come in with very little to no game dev experience, and a lot of the classes that the university offers are very specific to majors and technical things. And there's so much that goes into game development that we want to try to make it a lot easier for you to learn on your own. We kind of take more of a supporter role in that, where we're not going to be able to teach you everything you need to know. There's going to be a little bit of work that you're going to have to put in on your part to do on your own, but our hope is that we can be there to help you when you run into a problem to minimize any stops that you hit along the road. And then the last thing is community. So, the best way to do games that I've found and that many of us that run the club have found is to do it with other people. And the best way to find other people that like games is, through clubs like this, where you can have a community that's all interested in the same sort of thing. So we have a lot of community events that are focused around just kind of bonding and meeting people. That way, whenever you do want to make a game, you have some people that you kind of know what they're about, and you can kind of build yourself a team. So here is our club trailer. I'll let this play here and give you guys a little bit of an overview.
Welcome to the Video Game Development Club at NC State.
Quiet.
We are a group of students dedicated to
Turn the program volume up.
making
games and having fun.
Our mission is to provide students with the resources and community for
others to enjoy.
All the
All the
while,
while, we help them build their skills and network along the way.
New to game development?
Great.
Here at the VGDC, we hold regular workshops that teach you everything you need to know about game development. From production to game design, level design, programming, music, and art.
Are you looking for a fun way to build up your portfolio? Well, in this club, you'll get the chance to participate in a variety of game jams throughout the year with other club members, where you can team up with others to showcase your skills, make connections, and create awesome games, as well as share your creations with the club.
Not sure what you want to do in game development? Well, don't worry. On top of our workshops, we hold regular talks where we bring in professionals from a wide range of roles in the industry to speak to the club about what they do to give you some inspiration.
One of our core values is fostering a strong community. Our community engagement events feature game nights, field days, PowerPoint parties, and more. We also eat dinner as a group after each meeting to give us time to relax and connect with other club members.
Whether you're new, a veteran, looking to make games for a career, or just as a fun hobby, you'll find a place here at VGDC. Let's make games together.
All right. So on the topic of the eating out part. We do need a head count for tonight of who is interested in doing that. So if you are interested in going out to dinner with us after the meeting, that'll be after 9 p.m., please raise your hand right now. Yeah. One.
It depends on where.
Oh, we're going to Mitch's Tavern. Under 21s are allowed if you are interested. Well, tonight for this head count, but yeah, we do this every week.
This is less than 20 to 30.
Okay, yeah, we're good. Yeah? Yeah? Okay.
All right.
Thank you. We need to make a call to them, so that's all. Aaron, if you want to do that, actually. Just tell them that we're within our under 25. It doesn't have to be like right now. We're about to do officer things. Okay, anyways. So, our 2021 officer, or 2022, this is old, right? Our officers for this semester, this year, I'll go ahead and do my own introduction. My name is Mitchell Dunning. I'm the current president of the VGDC. A little bit about me. I am a game developer focusing on technical art. My major at the moment is computer science. I'm minor in art and design. And technical art is kind of like the bridge between art and programming, so that's where I like to operate. Got our vice president right here.
Hi, I'm the vice president, Aaron. I'm a major in computer science, and I'm a junior currently, and my main interest in video games is like gameplay programming, tools programming, that kind of stuff. And then our branding officer.
I can say it myself. Hey everyone, I'm the branding officer. My name is Jack. I am primarily a programmer. I do a lot of games programming, a little bit of tools programming. I do some design, and I'm trying to get into narrative, but we'll see how that works. Yeah, I'm a computer science major. I'm a junior, and I'm the one who handles getting all of the YouTube videos up for all of these meetings. So if one doesn't get up, I'm the person you're yelling at. So there you go.
Hey, how you doing? I'm the treasurer. My name's Ian, so I handle all the money. I am a senior, and I'm studying electrical engineering. Mainly, I have a lot of experience with coding, but I also have a lot of experience with signals processing, so I can do audio and stuff like that.
I don't know if I need to stand up. Hi, I'm Jaden. I'm the communications officer, so every time you see an email, that's me, and I like putting the GIFs on there, so if you see a funny GIF, that's also me. But yeah, so I'm a junior in computer science, minoring in art and design, and I'm in the kind of same track as Mitchell here, where I want to do technical art. And that also kind of includes textures and materials and a bunch of also physics. I hate physics though, so yeah, don't come to me if you want like a study guide or anything. I cannot provide that. But yeah, I need blueprinting also, but yeah. Oh,
Does it need to go through the magic?
should I go through the magic?
If you want to, Naila, you don't have to do it. Okay. And coming in, our first general officer.
Woo, yeah. Hello, guys. My name is Naila. I'm general officer. I'm maintaining the club's website. I am a junior in computer science. I am minoring in art design and English. I mainly focus on production management and UI design, but I do want to get into animation.
Hello there. I am Duncan Glenn. I am also a general officer. I am a senior in computer science with a focus on game development. I do mostly programming, but I'm trying to do a bit more design and I'm mostly working on 2D, but I want to branch out into 3D when I get the chance.
Alrighty. I'm standing in for Phillips. So, hi, my name is Phillips. I'm a general officer. I'm a double major in computer science and math. That kind of sounds like hell. But he mainly focuses in programming and design, and he's, I think, a senior, right?
Yeah, he's a senior.
Yeah, senior. Yeah.
He'll be here later. You guys will meet him.
Yeah, he'll be here later.
Jack.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ayla. I'm majoring in science, technology, and mathematics, with a minor in geology, I think. Ayla also helps out a lot dealing with our social media presence. We're starting up doing LinkedIn and Twitter pages. She helps a lot with that.
There's a lot with things along those lines, outreach, marketing, that type of stuff. That's a lot of her field, so we work closely together on all of that type of thing. I'm sure you'll all meet her eventually, but she couldn't make it here tonight, so.
All right. So that is our board for 2022, not 2021. All right, so now that you've met us, it's a good time for you guys to meet each other. So turn to the people around you, introduce yourself, and ask one of the following questions. Let's just real quick, I'm going to ask each question. Raise your hand if you got an answer, and we'll do quick shots. All right, what's your favorite game?
Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime, why?
I was explaining to them my favorite mechanic is like messing with your vision in an FPS game, and Metroid Prime does a lot of that, where you can see your own reflection if like smoke comes up or something like that, and just great translation from the 2D era to 3D.
Sounds awesome. All right, any cool or interesting mechanics that you like? No one likes mechanics? People hate games? All right, back there, kind of half raised. Nice. I love that. Ultra Kill's sweet. All right. And then know a game so beautiful that you could stare at it for hours. In the back. Elden Ring. Nice. All right. And then lastly, any storylines that tugged at your heart and soul? You had your hand up.
I wonder how many people are going to know this Harvester.
I do not know that.
Old, like, what do you call it? Like FMV game from like the 90s.
Yeah.
It is one of the most disturbing games I've ever played. Like, it was one of those games you play, it's like, I'm never touching it again because I can't go to sleep after.
All right. I'll have to put that on my list. That sounds awesome.
That's what I mean by Hearthstone.
Yeah, I mean, in a different way.
That's a good way.
Yeah, no, it's
All right. So, quick overview of what we're going to be going over in this presentation. So what is the VGDC? I don't know if we've already made this kind of clear, but we're a club that tries to support all of you aspiring game developers on your game development journeys here at NC State. How are games made? A lot of work, honestly. There's a lot of different disciplines. The most important part is kind of working together with other people, being able to communicate your ideas. You know, I've been on projects before where like, I have this great idea, but I don't know how to tell people exactly what I'm talking about, or I don't know all the intricacies that go into this specific thing that I want. So I'm like, you can get this done in like 2 days, right? And they're like, maybe. And it's actually something that would probably take 2 weeks or 2 months. So learning kind of like how to scope out your things is something that's important. And what do we do here? We're going to try and help with that sort of stuff by giving you a lot of educational workshops on the skills that you need, and then also some of the more soft skills that you'll need, kind of knowing what to do when planning how to do a game. We actually have a producer from Red Storm here that will be able to talk about that a little bit. And then how are we operating this semester? We're going to be doing hybrid meetings in person. And so educational workshops, there we go. Our workshops will be hybrid and streamed. The community events and projects will be more in person. Some of the game jams will also be hybrid. We'll have to see what people want to do, because if it's like 2 people that are going to be online, I don't really know if we want to like do that. If they want to make a game and submit it, that's cool, but we'll see. And then save your questions for the end. All right. So events. So what do we do for events? We like to do a mix of 2 main types of events. We have recreational events where we just kind of hang out and have fun, socialize, shoot the crap. And then we have development events. So our recreational events are post-meeting dinners, which we asked about earlier. Here's a picture of us at Taco Bell before it went. Come on. Sweet night. It's gone. So a little history lesson for all you new people. The club was actually founded in a Taco Bell. And so it was a club tradition that after every meeting, we went to Taco Bell. And this is one of those things. We did this for years on years. And now the Taco Bell is closed, and we're very sad. Some other things we do for recreational events is, I'm sure if you guys were all here last week, we saw a game night. We do those, try to do those every month or so before exams and whatnot. Try to give you guys like a break before all that stress. And then towards the end of the year, we do field day outside, which you saw a video of earlier. For development events, we do game jams, like Global Game Jam, where you can work with other people to make games, get in teams, kind of meet new people, test your skills, learn new things. Game jams are, a lot of people think game jams, or go into game jams thinking that they should just keep doing the same thing that they're doing. But game jams are a really great way to just start fresh on something you've never done before, because it's a great way to just kind of put it into practice and make a game with that sort of skill set. Some other things we'll do is ECGC, which is a big games conference at the end of the spring. You can see our picture with some of the other clubs from around the East Coast here from this past year. And then the last thing we're going to be trying to do, this is a little bit new, is the Extra Life streams. So this is a charity that is, they're going to basically be streaming during the late November, Jack?
Yeah, it's November, I think, 11th.
You honestly know more about this. You want to come up here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Magic Closet.
Extra Life, it's an event. It's kind of new, so we're figuring out exactly what the details are. But in general, Extra Life is a charity organization that focuses on video game live streaming to raise money for different charitable organizations local to you. So what we'll be doing is it's about a week-long event. We'll be organizing streams through our club and collecting donations. All of the donations then are collected and sent to charities of our choice, which we haven't decided yet because it's still a ways away. But it's going to be a big week-long event that's based on, live streaming to try and raise money for charity. And not confirmed yet. We might be making it a competition with other schools. We get to beat UNC and raise more money than them. So that'd be fun. But we'll have a lot more information on that later. It's in the November, I think. It's either the 11th or the 19th that it starts. Those are different. 19th? Okay, we're going to go with that for now. But we'll give you more information about it when it gets close to that. But that's just kind of a thing to look forward to on the horizon. So I'll pass it back over to Mitchell.
All right. Thank you, Jack. All right. So next up, projects. So I'm sure you guys are all here for this, to actually make some games, right? So there's two types of projects. We have longer-term projects, the Wolf projects that I mentioned earlier. We'll start doing pitches for these sometime in the middle of this semester, probably after the first game jam, once people have kind of gotten their feet wet in the development sphere. And we'll pitch ideas. The club will select 1 to 2 ideas. We might do 2, one for Unreal and one for Unity. And then we'll kind of just run with those until the end of the year and try to have something made for ECGC that you can show off to all the development studios in the area, which is a great experience for networking and to put on your portfolio. The next thing is also great for portfolio is game jams. So real quick, we have these 2 projects here are some of the longer term projects that we've had. These from last year. This is a multiplayer shooting game made by Philips. It's kind of like, it's like first person Smash Brothers is the best way I can describe it. And then this one over here is a sword fighting game made in VR with some like God of War recall stuff and dismemberment. That has also been worked on. I think this is still being worked on by the people that graduated with it.
It's called Transfusion.
Yeah, Transfusion, that's right. Yeah. All right, and then for the game jams, we have these are, I think, this one was from the Spring Jam. This is Galaga. This is Scare Maze from the Spring Jam as well. And this was actually our game of the year last year, Refraction, made by our officer Duncan and his team during the Fall Jam. So the jams are a great way to meet new people and make some cool games. You can see here even Galaga specifically looks like really nice compared to some of the art stuff on the other ones. So it's not limited by how long you get to work on it. And if you're interested in checking or playing any of these games out, we'll be doing a showcase later, or you can check out our itch.io page when we release the slides. So how do we go about making all these projects? Well, we use software. Luckily for us, a lot of the software for game development is pretty much free. So all the ones we're going to be using in our workshops for education are these free sets of softwares up here. We got Unity Engine and Unreal Engine, which are going to be our main 2 game engines that we're teaching people. If you haven't started game dev before, we're going to recommend that you go with Unity Engine. It's a little bit easier to wrap your head around. There's not as much to do. If you're looking to go into more career development and you've been with us for a little bit, or you're feeling confident in it, we're going to have Unreal Engine workshops as well to kind of prepare you for going into the industry because they like to see Unreal Engine. Then for 3D modeling, we're going to be using Blender. For 2D art that's not pixel art specific, we'll be using Krita. And then you can also do pixel art in Krita, but will be using Piskel because that's a free version of a specifically pixel art editing software. And then we have some alternatives down here if you want to pay money. What's up?
The school offers most of these for free on all of their computers, like the library and any, like if you're in the design school, they have studios in there, which has most of the software.
Yeah. And you don't even need to use the student or the school computers for some of these. Like I know Maya specifically, you can get free as a student with your student email. So while you're for the 4 years or however long you have here that you're here, you can just use Maya, which is great because most industry professional studios will be looking for people that have at least some Maya experience. But if you don't want to get it, don't worry because Blender skills transfer pretty well into Maya. Not too bad to learn that either. Same thing goes for things like Godot and Source and GameMaker. Other than just kind of being restricted to 2D with GameMaker and kind of with Godot, it's got 3D, but it's not the best. A lot of the skills will kind of transfer between a lot of these. So these are all optional, not required. All right. So pathways through the VGDCs. What are we going to help you do? What's kind of the long-term plan here? So the first of these is going to be the pathways for education. So a lot of you guys are probably interested in learning about games through the university. So the ways that we know to do that best are through 2 sets of classes. The first is going to be CSC 281. So this is an elective that anyone at all, any major, it doesn't matter, can take this. It's a really good class. Some of the games that you'll be playing later were made in this class. And it's just a lot of fun. The professors are really nice. I don't know if it switches up every year now, but last time I took it with Jahala. I think it was different for the last year that it was held. Yeah, it's card now. So anyways, great class. If you're in the computer science major, there's also the computer science games concentration. This goes over a lot more of the really high-end technical aspects of stuff, like rendering programming, making your own game engines, and stuff like that. And then if you want to do work or graduate research whenever you're done with kind of your undergrad, there are opportunities for that as well. So research and graduate programs, we have Arnav Jahala, who is a professor in the CSC department, and he does a lot of research. I'll actually be working with him. One of the nice things about doing research for the university like this is you can get class credit for doing it. If you have the like prerequisite classes, it's usually something that opens up towards your senior year. But you get class credit and you get paid, which is really nice. Then we have Derek Ham. That's the art and design department head and also a professor that does a lot of games research. Working with him actually is a previous president from my freshman year, Jackson Bostian, who you can see here laying on the ground. He has a nice little quote that he wrote us because he couldn't be here tonight, saying, I always thought it would be awesome to be a game designer, but it seemed like a made-up dream that no one could actually achieve. Meeting those folks in the industry made me realize that game development was really a career that people had, and so I decided to pursue game development as a career. I switched my major from civil engineering to English so I could work on game development and flesh out my portfolio. And now he does VR games research, recently bought a house in this market, doing really well for himself. I think he's engaged too. There we go. So outside of education, we also have a lot of career pathways, including alumni that are working at multiple different studios, including Redstorm, which we have some guests from tonight. Speaking of which, the first set of career pathways that we'll talk about is the actual games industry. And I will hand over the mic to both Joseph Dasilva and David Anampa to come up here and tell us more about that.
Hey, where do we even begin with this? This was not planned. Not really. No, you're all good. Okay, I would love to see a show of hands. How many of you have even like an inkling of like maybe I want to go into the games industry as a career? Oh, hell yes. All right, so I have so many questions for all of you, but I'm going to keep it brief. So if you want to go into the games industry, first of all, this club is the club to join, and I cannot emphasize that enough. Without the club, without the games I made here, without knowing the people I knew here, I would not have ended up where I am today. And it's something that like you surprisingly start to notice as you go through the classes is like all the people who don't go to the club. Sure, there's a couple of them who've like done game stuff on the side, but for the most part, they learn how to do game development in their senior year. I don't know why that ends up happening. We have a game development program. It's kind of weird, but if you stick with the club, it helps a lot. There's stuff like programming and art and producing. How much time do we got?
You guys can go as long as you want.
Cool. I want more hands because I love. Also, if you want to say anything at this point, David, feel free.
No, take it away.
Cool. How many of you want to do art-related things? Okay, that's a good couple. How many of you want to do programming-related things? That's about expected. How many of you want to do something outside of those things? Oh, okay. Yes. Anyone want to volunteer to say what that is? That one. Music. That one.
The actual design.
Yeah. Okay. I should have realized that was another core component of that. Yeah. So yeah, basically all I'm gonna keep saying is through this club, you're gonna figure out what it is that you want to do. You're gonna get to explore what you want to do, and just kind of flesh it out, and then ultimately build a portfolio and apply and get hired because that's the way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about your little journey? David did a completely different thing from me. He's in production.
Yeah, I'm in production. My route into the industry, a bit unique, I guess. Not entirely unique to most people, but it is pretty unique, specifically for production, just because of how difficult it is to get a position in that role. It's not like programming or art where they need a large number of those individuals work on projects. Production is a bit more of a scaled down number of individuals. There isn't really a large production team, and so it's very exclusive in a way. And so I came into NC State with at taking the business IT degree over at Poole College of Management. Found out that that not really helped me too much. I was hoping as a business IT major to focus more on the project development, project management portion of the IT industry. That really didn't really turn out too well. They only had one class really in project management. Everything else was really more in data analytics, which is I had no interest in. They had probably one class in programming at all, not compared to now. I heard they did a complete rework, so now they're actually teaching programming courses over there, which I wish they did when I was over there as a student. So the club really was a very big foundation for me in terms of giving me the resources I needed to sort of start, propelling my portfolio and career path. Just because I am, unlike Joseph, I was one of the founders for the club. I was one of the 5 individuals who were at that Taco Bell discussing. Yeah, well, I'm really old. I think we founded the club back in 2013 or 14. Can't really remember. So the club was very helpful because no one really wanted to take the project management role. I kind of took that, which is convenient because that's kind of what I wanted to do. So every project that our group worked on throughout our time in the club was my portfolio pieces. And so that really, again, helped propel my portfolio while I was getting into the industry. As mentioned before, tools are free for development. Tools for production are not free, and they're expensive. And so I did not have any technical experience in terms of the tools that a production or producer would use in the industry. And so I entered QA because lots of the tools that you use in QA are tools that you use in the industry as a producer. And so I was in QA at Epic for about 3 years, then transitioned to QA over at Redstorm for about a year and a half. And then I ended up finding the opportunity to enter into a production role at Redstorm recently this May. So I'm in production, but I haven't been there long. But it's been a hectic project so far. So I've already been managing over 3 different teams. Specifically on my project, I managed originally the missions / world design for our project. Then I transitioned into the animation team, and I'm also supporting the online and social group for our project. So yeah, it's been a topsy-turvy role within my career path. I went through QC, learned everything that I could, and then transition into production. So it's kind of my roundabout journey into the industry relative to what most of the others in the club went through when they just graduated from college and went straight into the industry. So,
or waited a year or two before finally getting it.
Or that
too. And for anyone who is not aware, QA is quality assurance. They are our wonderful, wonderful testers that tell us, hey, your shit's broken. My God, games would not be shipped without them. Just look at Cyberpunk. If anyone's got questions about like how to get in the industry and portfolios and any of that stuff, feel free to like ping me at any point, talk to me.
What are some internships you would recommend?
I wish.
I wish.
I'm trying to get that started at Red Storm, so hopefully that in the future. You're welcome. Epic does a lot of internships, and from what I hear, they don't treat their workers like garbage anymore, so that's great. Yeah, there we go. Give it up for Epic. All their fucking money. Yeah, I know Riot is doing internships tomorrow.
It's opening tomorrow. If anyone's interested.
So, yeah, honestly, just apply to everything. Everything and anything. And then outside of that, while you're a student, research opportunities, and feel free to talk to me about that because I did 3, I think, something like that. Research opportunities will get you money and will get you experiences that will lead to jobs. I'm going to take one more question.
I was wondering, what looks good on a resume for an application at an internship?
Lots of things.
Personal projects.
Personal projects. You just want a portfolio. That's the biggest thing. You need a website that shows all the stuff you worked on, what you did specifically on it. And then, honestly, research also works pretty well. I don't think the research helped me that much with the club, with getting my job, but it taught me things and it showed that I like branched out and did stuff.
If anything, personal projects specifically with emphasis on working with other people. Just because, again, you don't work on a project by yourself. You're working with people from various disciplines.
Yeah.
And so if you have multiple projects on your portfolio with, 20 plus people, or even just 5 or 3, it just tells them that you're able to communicate, you're able to work with others, and that you're professional in the industry and you know what to do when you're communicating with others when working on the project. Because you tend to get individuals who are very self-centered while working on projects, and they tend to communicate, and that's specifically why I deal with a lot. And
they don't get hired.
They don't get hired, or if not, they don't last long. So.
But yeah, and that's why this club exists, so you can hang out with all these wonderful weirdos and work together. Yeah, cool. If you have more questions, I'll be here through dinner. Feel free to just hit me up and be like, hey, I've got questions. And then I'm going to let you keep going with your things.
I'm just going to hold on to you guys for real quick. So I'll hop in here and talk about the networking opportunities real quick. So really good ways to meet people, such as these, that work in the industry, that are a great resource for you growing as a developer to kind of learn more about what it's like to be in the industry, kind of advice, just talking about, where you are, where they were, and how that kind of matches up. We go to ECGC. We're going to try to go to GDC and maybe build that in the future. We'll see. But ECGC, we pretty much unlock for this year, and that's a great way to meet people in the local area. It's held here in Raleigh at the Raleigh Convention Center, right next door, bus ride down the street. So it's a great experience. We also have on the second Thursday of every month, for people that are a little older, the Game Dev Drink Up. And that's where people, all the game developers in the local area meet up at a bar, which I believe is the same one we're going to tonight, Mitch's Tavern on Hillsborough. And they just meet up and drink and have fun. They do raffles.
Yeah, you can be under 21 and still go to this thing as long as...
Yeah. There's actually one new event that just restarted recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the Unreal Engine Dev Drink Up event.
Yeah, I don't know how exclusive that is. I don't know.
No, anyone can show up.
If you want to talk more about that,
it's been a while. I don't know exactly where they meet still. I don't know if that's changed. They used to meet at a bar somewhere in Cary, but I can't recall.
Yeah.
But it's usually around, I remember 7, around this time, unfortunately. So it would just be the difference between coming here or going there. So
you guys can figure it out.
All right. Yeah. And then the last thing is Global Game Jam. So we're going to be hosting Global Game Jam here at the university. But there is also a Global Game Jam hosting site at Imanji Studios, which are the people that make Temple Run. You can see their logo here, right behind David's head. So that's where we've done Global Game Jam for years in the past, but last year we did it here just because of COVID concerns and everything that they had at the office. And now we're thinking we might just, if you're interested in going and checking that out, we'll split up into kind of two groups. We'll do one here for people that can't do that. And if you do want to go and meet up with the developers and work with them over at the Global Game Jam site at Imanji, you can go do that. And then I will let you guys talk about this opportunity.
And speaking of game jams at local development studios, we have been working our ass off to try and get this approved, and it is. We're going to be doing a game jam at Red Storm, and you wonderful people are invited. We're going to have more details come from the officers, so this is just kind of like a sneak preview announcement thingy-majiggy, but it is happening in 4 weeks? 4 weekends? Yeah. That date. September 30th. It's in a month. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. That's it.
All right. Thank you guys.
You're good.
All right. So career pathways part 2. What if you don't really want to go into games industry? You're not feeling it. Well, there are a lot of related fields. We have simulation and XR, which I actually got to work in this summer when I interned at NASA, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. Visual effects, which you can see some images of here. Graphic design. I know there's a lot of graphic designers and the people in the graphic design major here at State that kind of work adjacently with the VR studio in the club. And there's plenty more. Game development is so diverse that it really just touches almost everything. There's too much to really list here. Speaking of which, here are a list of some of the bigger diverse skills. Production and management, like David was kind of going over. Games are really big and complicated projects because they're so diverse in what goes into them. And you will get a lot of experience in how to deal with people and how to, make things on lock in production and management. Games also need really good graphic design for UI and user experience. We'll have, I think I have a friend of a friend that is going to be coming in to talk about that later this semester or maybe next semester. There's also 3D art and computer rendering, which if you're in the CSC games concentration, you'll learn more about, but you also learn here. And then we have programming and source control, which if you're CSC, you'll obviously learn, but we can also teach you if you're not in those majors as well. And then music and sound design. Sound is, since you're going to be making games here, you will find out how integral sound is to game development. You don't really notice it, but when it's not there, you do notice it. It's super important. It's one of the foundational aspects. All right, so one last thing before we just kind of get to the wrap-up part of this. We're going to be trying a new thing this semester called mentors. What is a mentor? Mentors are going to be the more experienced members of the club that have kind of made a couple games, they've been here for a year or two, and they're going to be paired with people that are new, a group of 5, maybe 10, probably a little bit less than 10. Oh, come on, there we go. And being a mentor is completely optional. All you have to do is just kind of answer questions, and we would really appreciate it if you did it. We know it's a lot to ask to kind of take out of your schedule, but we really would love to have more people that are willing to help us with our education side of the club. So your duties are basically, you're going to be assigned to about 5 to 7 people. Those people are going to be able to just come to you for questions. We'd hope that you'd be able to offer advice and guidance to them and point them towards helpful resources when they have issues. And then you will also be paired up based on mutual interests. So there will be a form at the end of this where you can fill out what you're interested in game development. And then if you're a mentor, you will fill that out as well. And we'll try to pair people based on what everyone wants to do. So you get a mentor that's kind of in your wheelhouse. All right. So the wrapping up part of this is here's some just basic information for the semester. We're going to be doing meetings at 7 p.m. every Wednesday. The important part of the meeting will be starting at 7:15 to kind of give you time to get here and get situated. We will also be streaming these like we are now on Twitch and then later editing and posting them on our YouTube channel. For announcements and big event information, we're going to be using our emails and our Discord channel, which thank you, Jaden, for getting those out. And then for anything else online, just kind of chatting, keeping up with people, hanging out on the virtual space. We got our Discord whole server outside of the announcements channel for that. We plan to host multiple events this semester. We're going to be doing game jams. We're going to do social nights. We're going to be doing PowerPoint parties. We're going to hopefully do some game dev drink ups and other things. And potentially for Thanksgiving, I'm thinking we might do a potluck. I don't know if people think that's a good idea. We'll kind of survey, but I like the idea of doing a Thanksgiving potluck towards the end of the semester. And then our online resources are our website, vgdc.org, www.vgdc.org. It doesn't work if you don't put the www for some reason. Which we have a couple things on there. The most important thing is just a list of all of our big links here, like our Discord, YouTube, itch page, LinkedIn. Our Getting Started page, which has kind of a list of tutorials and online resources and creators that you can look into to kind of help you learn on your own. And then we have our Twitch and YouTube channel, which are going to have all of our workshops and recorded presentations. If you have not already joined the Discord, which I assume most of you have if you've heard about this, there's the QR code right there. Please scan it and join. And then thank you. That's it. We'll now open the floor for questions. And before you leave, we would ask if you fill out this exit form that I talked about earlier.